show, which was discussions. It is not here this evening. I've been asked to fill in by Robert to cover his hour because he wasn't available this week. So we decided to do a second hour of Conscious Living Radio. And we have a really great guest here this evening in the studio. We are here today with Rama Akala. Rama Akala is actually a very good friend of mine. My name's Mark Cron, by the way. Tasha wasn't available this evening, and Andrew's away on business. So my good friend Rama here, she's a Kambo practitioner, she's a healer, she's a coach. She does so much great work with some of the medicines from South America and the Amazon. She helps people transform their lives from health to their spirit, all sorts of different areas. She's just such a great spirit and a great soul. I'm happy to have her here. So Rama, welcome.
Thank you. Thanks so much for having me. I really appreciate it.
It's a real honor to have you here and sharing the work that you do. I'm blessed to know you and know the work that you do. So I'm really honored to be able to share it with our listeners. Maybe you can tell people a little bit about your story. I know you kind of reversed your diagnosis of MS, working with alternative medicines. Mm-hmm. So maybe you can tell the listeners your story.
Sure. I'd love to. So about 12 years ago, I was diagnosed with multiple sclerosis. I actually had numbing from my sternum to my spine, all on my left side for some months. And I went in for an MRI, actually went in for numerous MRIs, went to numerous neurologists, and they all diagnosed me with MS, relapsing remitting MS. And they said to me, we'd hate to see you go blind or deaf or paralyzed. And we think that your best option is to put you on injections every week for the rest of your life. And, I sat with that because my dad is in alternative health as well. And I really, have picked up his teachings of taking care of ourselves in a natural way. And so I did more research and I went back to the neurologist and I said, you don't know why people are diagnosed. And they said, no. And I said, you don't know the long-term side effects of the drugs. And they said, no. And I said, you have no idea why people relapse. And they said, no, we don't. And I said, so you really believe that this is my best alternative? And they said, yes. And I said, well, I think I'm going to do it a different way. And so I went in search. There was something inside of me that knew that it was there to serve me. And I went in search and I just started saying yes to life. I started just jumping into my fears and just surrendering and allowing myself to be guided. And so that actually led me on this beautiful, deep inner path of saying yes to life, and which eventually led me to working with ayahuasca, which then led me to working with Kambo medicine and Hape and Sananga. And about 3 years ago, actually it was March 20th, 3 years ago, I actually came back home after going in and out of the hospital in Costa Rica, and they were saying I was having an MS relapse. And I eventually came back and was undiagnosed of multiple sclerosis. And I truly believe that it was working with all of these medicines, just kind of going deeper into my spiritual path, but also allowing myself to heal from trauma that I believe was stored in my body. I had been in the Tony Robbins environment for years, and that really supported me in healing my mind and understanding how I worked and all of that. But I believe on a cellular level, there was still trauma stored. And so working with these medicines really helped release that, helped bring it to the surface to be looked at, to be loved, to be healed, to be transformed, to be let go. And so I'm very honored now to be able to say that I'm no longer diagnosed with MS. And I believe part of that was also saying I was diagnosed, not that I have, and not that it's mine. And I believe the owning of it and making it part of our identity is also really important to be aware of.
Yeah, and I think that's really powerful, and it's kind of, if we take a look at our first two guests this evening, Dr. Ruin kind of talked about being open and being receptive for one, and when that happens, it's the flow of the information to be able to receive the information.
Right.
And so it really makes sense to me when you're, open, you're not making this identity, because the mind's such a powerful thing that it creates wars, it creates peace, it creates the most beautiful structures in the world. And it can create and affect our health in the way we think about it. So when we identify that, I have this or I am that,
Yes.
our body and our information starts acting and behaving in a way to deliver all of those things.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, when I was, one of the things, another aha moment for me was when I was younger. I was in a home, it was very abusive. And then I started to take on this mentality of kind of beating myself up and, no self-esteem and just not liking who I was. And I thought, well, why would my body follow suit? Why? Because MS is the body attacks itself.
Mm-hmm.
So if I'm attacking myself in my own mind all the time, why would my body not do that too? So again, in the healing process, the self-love, then I believe is a big component to that as well.
Yeah, no, and I think, when you talk about ayahuasca being a spirit plant medicine, and our last guest I thought was quite interesting because he was talking about his, shift from, mental illness being perceived from his journeys, which were recreational journeys with psychedelic drugs to, actually what you're talking about is conscious work with
Mm-hmm.
these medicines.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the difference for me. A drug is one thing that's more, doctor prescribed, a pharmaceutical or something that's, done in the illegal context for recreation or something else versus a medicine that's used for healing and curing.
Yeah.
And there's that huge movement right now in the world of not just psychedelic, but plant spirit medicine.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't matter what plant it is. Nature's our best pharmacy.
I totally agree. It is it comes with a very different energy if you're just, curious or getting high than it is to really going in and doing the work. Because it is work. It's uncomfortable. This is not an easy path to take by any means, but it's also where I believe our healing and our freedom lies.
Yeah, and that's stuff we have to deal with. People talk about the shadow work or the shadow
Mm-hmm.
self, and we have to, the Bible talks about, not that I'm a big Bible guy, but it's that one line. It's like, know thyself.
Totally.
And we get so caught up in denying ourselves because our ego wants to think we're so awesome all the time, and we want to achieve and collect and do all sorts of things, where we need to sometimes, be humble so we can get into our heart and look at our spirit. And I think these medicines, especially something like ayahuasca, is a great eye opener.
Mm-hmm.
But more specifically, you work with the medicine Kambo, and I've worked with ayahuasca. I've sat with Kambo with you as well.
Mm-hmm.
And what I like about Kambo, because I think this is just the way I believe. Anything that gets in the body
Mm-hmm.
can get out of the body. Because if it can get in, it can get out.
Right.
So MS, if we listen to Master Ruin or Dr. Ruin earlier, it's being able to change the information and redirect it, which is that DNA work, that cellular level. And we talk about downloads and changing things. And Kambo is just a really amazing deep down cleanse.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe tell people about the work you do with Kambo and how that cleanses and detoxes the body, because I think that's a big part too of any health. If we got whatever it is, dis-ease or viruses, whatever's in us, we need to get it out.
Right. So Kambo works on many different layers. It works with the body, but it also works in the mental and emotional and energetics and spiritual. But it also works on a cellular level. There's a magic to it. There's a power to it. There's they call it the great revealer. It brings things to the surface for us to look at, for us to witness.
So then first off, what is it? We talk about Kambo, we say it. So what is it?
So Kambo is the secretion from a giant tree frog in the, you can find in the upper Amazon rainforest in South America. And it's actually been used for thousands of years by the indigenous people. They have been using it. The hunters have used it. They use it for many different things, for malaria, for all kinds of different health purposes as well. And now that it's come to, the Western world, we're finding that it's supporting in a lot of other things, which is, some post-traumatic stress. It's been really supportive, because it has all these peptides in it. It shifts chemicals in the brain. It actually goes in on a cellular level as well. Some people even have sense memories come up on a cellular level. They say it cleans out the debris on a cellular level. It helps It helps clear out the lymphatic system because it actually goes into the lymphatic system and rejuvenate the organs, and it reboots the immune system, and and helps boost the immune system.
And that's something that always intrigued me when you first started sharing and telling me about this medicine, how it reboots and resets your immune system. Because I gotta believe that so many of us in today's world, if you haven't, we wash our car, we clean our house, most of us, we take a shower every day, most of us. When was the last time the majority of us cleaned our body from the inside out?
Right.
Right.
And it's true. And even I used to be a teacher for colon hydrotherapy, and even that we recommend, every 3 to 4 months, come in and do a good cleanse, because our body needs it. We have so many toxins in our environment now, even the food that we take in with the chemicals and
more like food-like products. It's not real food, most of it anymore, right?
Right. It's so true. It's so true. And, it's my dad always taught, if it doesn't come from the land, don't eat it. Right. And it's true. But most of the stuff that we eat nowadays, even if it does come from the land, it still has all these chemicals on it. And so, things like Kambo, they help clear out all of those toxins that create all these different things, the arthritis and pains in our bodies and candida and bacteria. And it just supports the body in healing and cleansing and getting rid of these kinds of things.
Yeah, it's an interesting medicine, that's for sure. And the nice thing I like about it too is I'd say it's not psychedelic.
It is not.
I'm not going to say it's not psychoactive, because I think there's
it's not psychoactive. It's not psychedelic. There is a place that some people can go to that's a beautiful state, but I believe that happens when people are learning to surrender. So I also believe that with all of these medicines, it comes an opportunity for us to learn true surrender, to be able to let go, to be able to open, and then that serves us everywhere in life.
Yeah, I think that, when we get into these medicines, because sometimes people get freaked out when they hear, Amazon, shamanic medicines, things of that nature, because they start thinking of, ayahuasca and some of the myths surrounding that. So what would you say, what is the benefits of working with Kambo? What kind of health things will it actually remedy?
Well, we can't make any claims on anything. I can share some stories.
Only if you're a pharmaceutical company.
Right. They own the word cancer. They own, the word, all of the diseases that we have in our body. I believe that we can heal ourselves personally. I believe that if we can create it in our body, then we can heal it.
Your dad's a pretty wise man. He knows a bunch of stuff.
He does as well, and it's actually very beautiful. We both get to support each other now, and in the understanding of that, there isn't one way. There isn't just one way to get to that space within ourselves, to get to that healing, to get to that that surrendering.
Interesting. So, if we can't cure anything, what will it help us reduce, maybe eliminate?
So I can share.
So we can feel better.
Yeah, I can share what some of my clients have reported back, the experiences that they have had. So I've had clients come diagnosed with post-traumatic. One person that had a really bad car accident, couldn't drive anymore, and they came to a 3-day retreat. A week later, sent me an email saying, I don't know what happened, I don't know what shifted, but I can drive now without any fear. I have other people who were in wars when they were younger because they were living in different parts of the world. Shrapnel in their head, they had chronic migraines and post-traumatic. Again, within a short period of time, being able to, it's another 3-day retreat, we're able to be able to sleep again because they actually had insomnia as well. We're able to sleep again, are still months later able to sleep with ease. The migraines are like very far in between now, and the post-traumatic has just completely eased or disappeared for them. And also people digestive issues, saying that it was really supportive. Lyme disease, saying that they've had more energy than they have in years. Autoimmune, either being able to cut down or cut out medications. Now I'm starting to work and do research with people diagnosed with cancer, also on antidepressants to be able to support them in shifting if they choose to get off of antidepressants as well. So, it's an array of different things. I also believe that it depends on how open the people are to healing. People have to be really open to wanting to let go of it. And again, not have it as part of their identity, but to be able to let go and to want to be free of it. Because for some people, it serves a purpose for them. And then when they're tired of it and it doesn't serve them anymore, they have an opportunity to let it go.
And you said it again, it's that mind thing.
Mm-hmm.
You really have to open your mind and believe that what you're doing is going to work.
Yeah,
I think there's
absolutely.
a big part of that in my experiences sitting with you and sitting with Kambo is, what you described is true. I felt lighter, cleaner,
mm-hmm.
just there was something, it was really hard to explain and put your finger on it, but lighter was the biggest thing.
Yeah.
For me, it was just like, I feel good. And I felt
Yeah.
clean, and certain, cravings and tendencies just kind of fell off.
Candida, sugar cravings and stuff, or even alcohol cravings or cannabis cravings. Yeah. And I think you had a shoulder injury too that it helped as well, didn't it?
Yeah, it just helped relieve some pain.
Yeah.
And some what was regularly there just kind of disappeared. So whether that's inflammation or whatever that was, but it's a medicine that I definitely have value for myself and my own experience, and sitting with a number of the different medicines, there's certainly some value there. Now you work with a couple of other, we've got about 10 minutes left. You work with a couple of really other interesting medicines that you don't always work with, the Kambo, Sananga and Hape, and you do a lot of different work that way. Maybe you can give us a few minutes on that.
The Hape and the Sananga?
Yeah.
So I also hold monthly circles with, I do meditations as well with Hape and Sananga. And Hape is made from mapacho. That's usually the main ingredient in it, which is jungle tobacco. And there are hundreds of different kinds of hapes or rape. It's a snuff. It goes up the nose. I administer it through a pipe. And and you're smiling, I know, because it's a little bit uncomfortable when it first goes in, so I blow it up into their nostrils, and it's kind of it's a little bit intense when it first goes in, but then you kind of drop into a nice lull, and it's this beautiful, just heart opening and grounding. And one of the things that I love about all of the medicines that I share is that they're so grounding and they're so heart opening. And I love working with spirit plant medicines, and I've worked with numerous of them on many occasions. And I love being able to go out into the ethers and have those experiences. I've had some of the most profound experiences in my life. And then I also, would get messages of, hey, Rama, that's where you come from. That's where you're going to go back to. It's time to bring that here. You're meant to be here to have this human experience, not to be out in the ethers. And so to be able to have the honor of sharing these medicines, just to support people in grounding, and remembering the truth of who they are, because I believe it brings us into this beautiful space within ourselves that really truly reminds us of who we are and where we're from and what we're here for. And I believe that, because we live in such an exterior world, so much stimulation, that we tend to forget. We forget to come back into our body. We forget to breathe. We forget to, meditate, to just kind of drop in. And it quiets, so it can show us against either some of our patterns or support us in coming into our true nature to make choices that are going to support us on what our true path is here. So that's Hape, and then Sananga are eye drops. And
well, before you go further with that, one thing I love what you said is when you go down to the ethers, you're like, oh, but this is, and then you came back to have this human experience.
Yeah.
It's the one thing Tasha would say, and I always think, what would Tasha say? What question would she ask? Because she's awesome. She always comes back to saying that we are spirit having a human experience.
Right.
We're not human having this human experience, or our spirit having this human experience. So thank you for just that. It's just something that always connects in.
I think that might have been from Eckhart. I can't remember. I know Eckhart did talk about that a lot as well. Yeah,
it's out there, but it does come up in Conscious Living Radio often because we talk about kind of being out there, and we here in our community recognize that we are spirit first.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we are, and we're still here. Let's keep rooted in here because we're here for a purpose. You know, we did come here. I believe we came here to learn, right, and to evolve and to grow and to to experience all the craziness that this amazing journey has to offer us. And so the other medicine, Sananga, it's an eye drop. It's from the same plant family as iboga, and it's very beautiful. It's they say that it decalcifies the pineal gland, that it kind of helps remove blocks. And we usually sit with it as well prior to Kambo, the 3-day retreats. And some people just say it stings. I know when I was working with the Yawanawa tribe, they said,
"Are you going to tell that story?"
Oh yeah, I have to tell that story. It's fun. They said we like to share what you may experience. It's going to feel like your eyeballs want to run away from your head, but don't worry, they won't. They're attached. And
they bungee back in.
Yeah, exactly.
Make a little sound.
Yeah. And it's different every time with all of the medicines. Every time you sit with them, it's different. But the thing is I always remind people, this isn't about what you're feeling in your eyes. This is about learning to surrender. Mm-hmm. And so I do my best to support people in just letting go, relaxing their body, focusing on their breath, and just dropping into it, because it's a very beautiful medicine. It'll come in waves. It doesn't last very long, but there's something about these medicines that support us in becoming empowered. And go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say, what I love about the medicines is they're a subtle journey.
Mm-hmm.
They're not like an ayahuasca or a sacred mushroom or peyote or any of those kinds of things in that way. But I find that they're subtle and they're beautiful and they're grounding, and they just let you kind of float away for your meditations. Your circles are usually a couple hours, 2-3 hours, from beginning to end, and it's a beautiful place to just kind of sit and connect with self.
Yeah.
And having these, our last guest was talking about, how some of these medicines, can be the catalyst.
Absolutely.
And it's nice to, be in ceremony, to be with, people who care, and that's a safe and sacred space.
Yes.
So speaking of safe and sacred space.
Yes.
Now, Rama does hold clinics regularly and retreats with the Kambo. She also holds regular monthly circles with the Sananga and Hape. So maybe you can tell us quickly when your next events are coming up. The most important thing to remember is you can get all this information, consciousliving.radio.org. We've got all the information. You can go to heartofkambo.com, which is Rama's website, and she's got all the information that you could ever imagine on these medicines, the benefits, how they work, what they are, as well as their schedule. But maybe you can tell people what they can do to connect with you.
Yeah, great. Yeah, so the website, also on Facebook, we have a like page, which is Heart of Kambo. We have a couple of things coming up, a full moon circle. Love working with the medicines on the full moon, the Hape and the Sananga. It's so magical. And, the last one was just very opening for so many people. A lot of healing was going on. You were there, and so you witnessed that as well.
I like the Hape. I'll say I like the Hape.
Yes, Mark, you do. And so that's April 29th. And then we have a Kambo clinic. There's just a few spots available for that. That's May the 5th. And we don't have more than 4 or 5 people in that group. And then we also have a 3-day Kambo retreat coming up. I really love the 3 days, and you've been a part of a few of the 3 days, and they're so powerful. There's something about working with the medicine 3 days in a row.
3 days is the way to go, folks, if you have the time.
Yeah.
3 days is the way to go, because it really lets you do the work. You can dive deep, you can relax, and it gives you a time to just unplug from everything in your world, in your life. One treatment is great too, but you know what? I love the retreats.
Yeah, it has a stacking effect, and also to be able to be out of the city. We always have a space, this beautiful space looking out into the ocean, and it's just so magical. So If you can make a 3-day retreat, please come and have that experience. We have music and hape and sananga, and all these things are included in it, and you get to be in community. And there's something magical about being in community and being able to go through that experience together. You walk out, like family. Mm-hmm. And then you have that support too. You have that support system, and people just become friends for the rest of their lives. I also wanted to offer something for free. There are a couple things coming up.
We like free here at Conscious Living Radio.
Yes. So one is a session, a web session that we're going to do. Just a little bit more information if people want to know. So we'll do a Q&A. That's going to be on May the 1st. I believe that's Tuesday at 7 p.m. You can either find that on our website under this retreats and circles. You can sign up for it there, or on our Facebook.
Link to it on our Conscious Living Radio page as well.
Okay, and also on the Facebook page. The other thing is I wanted to offer 3 spots to upcoming circles with hape and sananga. So we can hold 1 or 2 spots for this one that's coming up on Sunday if people are interested. So I believe the last people you did, so the first 3 people that email to us.
So it's going to be, you have to email support@consciousliving.net. Once again, support@consciousliving.net. Now, how do they qualify for these spots, Rama?
How do they qualify?
Do they have? Tell us one question about the sananga then. What did the shaman say about the sananga that you don't have to worry about?
Yes.
That's
good.
one question.
Yeah. Oh, what's the other question? Where do you find the Kambo frog?
There's a good question.
Yeah.
And the third one, for the third spot, is always, I'm going to leave it at this, is why should you be the one to benefit from this work that we do? And it's actually this Sunday.
Yes.
On the 29th, full moon, and you'll probably get to meet both of us, Rama and Mark.
Yeah.
That's the bonus.
Mark's at all the circles.
I'm just a sucker. I love to support. So, well, Rama, thank you very much. We could have spent hours talking about this. We'll do some more work. We'll do some Facebook Live stuff because I really value the work that you do.
Thank you.
So thank you very much for coming out tonight and sharing more information. And I really urge anybody who's looking to shift some things in their life, change some of their health issues or challenges, and looking for alternative ways, do the research. There's certain things we can't say. It's all political and things of that nature. But you know what? Do your own research, because I believe that's where it's at. Don't take our word for it. Experience it for yourself. heartofkambo.com. You can get all the information and all the upcoming dates there.
Can I mention one more thing just before we go? I just want to encourage all of you that if you do decide to do this kind of work, that you feel called to it, please do your research in who you're going to be with. If it does not feel aligned, if intuitively you have any questions, just hold off. Find somebody that you feel really aligns with you, number one, energetically and intuitively. Trust that, but also to make sure they have the proper training, because I have already experienced, and I'll be writing an article about this, many people that are sharing these medicines. Kambo is not a medicine to play with. There are contraindications. There are interactions that don't work well with Kambo. It's not for everybody. And so please make sure that they have proper training before you sit with them. Ask them questions. And if you have any doubt, do not sit with them. Find somebody that has all of the training that's needed to make sure that you're safe. Safety is always the most important thing for everybody.
I'm really glad you brought that up, Rama, because it's really important. And I know you hold the medicines at a really high integrity, which is one of the things I honor about you when it comes down to the medicines.
Thank
you.
People
do get desperate because they hear about it and they hear an opportunity, and they, somebody goes and sits with Aya or does Kambo once or twice, they think they can lead ceremonies, and it's not that way, people.
It's not.
And, if you want to know more information, Conscious Living Network actually supports and sponsors the Spirit Plant Medicine Conference. Early bird tickets are going on sale May 1st, so you can.
I'll be there.
So
I'll have a booth.
Well, great. Well, Rama, again,
thank
you very much. We have another guest coming on in a few minutes. We're going to, spread the thread of spirituality and one more topic. So hang tight, and we'll be right back. You've been listening to Conscious Living Radio, 100.5 Co-op Radio, CFRO in Vancouver.
Thank you.
Listening to Conscious Living Radio. For free show downloads, additional information about